Hello everybody, welcome back to the Learn Dota 2 League, Season 12, Week 5.
Radiant
Nagaz
team
versus
back.
GG's, Game 2.
Yep.
Last time, Nagaz tried to build late with the early team, and it did not work out for them.
It happens.
See if this time we can
Dire team ban.
play a little more to the old strengths.
Radiant team ban.
I think the GG's realized,
Dire team ban.
sort of what Nagaz was sort of leaning on last game. Sort of realized they were putting a lot of faith in the winner here and are immediately starting off with knocking out some ditch classics.
Radiant team pick.
Yep. Although OD is a Gotham classic, so.
Yep, we've seen Gotham play OD to some decent success so far, so no surprise knocking him out there. Nagaz once again just knocking out some of the more notable sort of heroes for the GGs.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Grimstroke.
Alright, Grim.
Likely going to be Gotham Grim.
Yeah.
Seconds remaining.
Grimstroke, I think, never a bad first pick. Because
5 seconds
even if you'd,
remaining.
you never want to counter a support pick necessarily, unless you can do it with another support pick. But
Yep.
you do generally want to sort of field your strategy around what the supports are going to be doing. They're often a pretty direct indicator of where your team is going to be going. Grimstroke is a hard guy to read in that regard. Are they going to be building Deathball because of Grimstroke? Or are they going to be going to try and make most use of his ult?
Dire team pick.
Night Stalker.
Alright.
They've seen the Luke's Night Stalker. They want to try it themselves. I don't know if we've seen Pasky on Stalker this series. I think maybe once or twice. Be interesting to see. I think Pasky of the threes has had the greatest variety, perhaps.
5 seconds remaining.
I think he stood in on week 1, but certainly at the very least the GGs, or he was stood in for on week 1. GGs certainly
Ooh,
Have,
Rubik.
posted a lot of interesting threes, and here's an interesting 4 or 5 in Rubik. I believe this is the first pick for Rubik at the tournament so far.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's a very good answer to the Grimstroke, though it does certainly mean it turns into a very who-shot first scenario. Grimstroke silences Rubik, Rubik can't contribute to a fight at all. If Rubik steals the silence off Grimstroke and uses it on him, uh-oh. Got a jug here.
Or uses it on, say, Juggernaut, for instance. But,
Yeah.
just, putting ideas in your head there.
Jug can get rid of the silence very quickly, but he does have to stop everything he's doing in a fight to get rid of it, and that is a lot easier said than done. So damned if you do, damned if you don't with the Grimstroke silence a lot of times, There's a lot of times if you stop to knock it off, you're dead, and there's a lot of times if you don't, you're dead. And there's a lot of times either way you're dead.
Radiant
Yeah.
Nasty skill to deal with. I think a lot nastier than people realize, because they kind of, I don't know, I feel like they tunnel vision right now in the Inkswell, certainly. GG's looking a lot of Luke's classics.
10 seconds remaining. Team ban.
The Naga's getting rid of that Kunkka.
Yeah.
To be
Not
blunt,
running that one back.
if you want to do a very good thing for yourself, I think the idea would be to knock out Void Spirit next.
10 seconds remaining.
Though I think you can run the risk a little bit with the Grimstroke silence.
5 seconds remaining.
Definitely not going to see a Void Spirit BKB in every game, and it's something nobody ever wants to build BKB, but Void Spirit super duper doesn't want to build BKB if he can avoid it. That just absolutely forces him to do it. You
No
can really tell.
Brewmaster. Alright.
Can really tell who the GGs put their stake in here.
5
Yeah.
seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
I like it. That's at least one ban apiece for everybody still in the pool for Nagaz.
That's true. Pretty sure, yeah, legitimately.
10 seconds.
They are letting the
remaining.
Void Spirit run through.
5 seconds.
Perhaps counting on
remaining.
them to pick for London last.
Yeah, probably. That's what I would guess.
Radiant team pick.
Winter Wyvern.
Okay, Wyvern.
Yep.
Good against the Jug, always.
Right. Jug is going to have some answers to the ult,
10
though he has
seconds. Radiant
he has a
team pick.
lot less answers to the icicle. Well, actually, no, he kind of has answers to that too, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's a very good answer to the Wyvern if SD is outside of the Winter's Curse.
Yeah. Very bad answer to the Wyvern, though, if he puts Juggernaut in
10
jail and then
seconds remaining.
a Winter's Curse happens to him right outside of
Yeah,
it, and
that's
then
true.
both the real Jug
5
and the fake
seconds
Jugs
remaining.
immediately beat him to death.
Well, I mean, then you just use Curse to kill support, and that's usually good for the support. Unless it's like,
Well, I
you're
feel
on 10
like
minutes and you just get a kill or whatever.
I feel like the
Like,
ideal
if you're
use
using
of
Curse in a fight to kill a support, it's not worth it, generally.
I feel like Curse super struggles to actually kill cores, though, or even do appreciable damage to them. In most
That
cases.
depends.
I feel like the platonic ideal for a Winter's Curse in my head
10
is you knock out a
seconds
support
remaining.
with it and put the enemy cores in a really bad position when it gets
5
up, you know?
seconds remaining.
It's more of the setup for them. Especially when you got somebody like Dragon Knight there, you know, you cannot curse Dragon Knight, he will not die to anything. They're going to throw at him in that time, and you're just basically giving him a few seconds to, think about what he's about to do next. Of course, it does screw his positioning, but he's not going to care. On the other hand, he's not really going to be able to kill anybody in the curse either, you know? Jug's great if you can get in there, but it's very unlikely you'll be able to outside of a few
Radiant
specific
team
scenarios.
Phantom Lancer.
PL coming
Alright,
up.
Peel.
PL is a very good pick here, actually. It's a very good response
Oh, yeah.
to both the Jug and the Dragon Knight. You know, Omni Slash really does very little to the PLs, though you can fix that problem with certain items. Though on the other hand, you're also kind of pigeonholing what he can build. You know, he's
Yeah.
going to need a Mjolnir or a Battle Fury, and he's going to need it very soon, and it's not uncommon to see those. You might force him to build both, really.
5 seconds remaining.
It's never super what you want to do. On the other hand, if you do that, you can turn those PL illusions into a lot of damage against their team. So, you know,
Yes.
get rid of the Timber Saw. I don't know if, I feel like it's more likely to see DK on the 3 than the 2. Maybe they're thinking of a 2 Timber Saw. Ugh.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Can I rant here? Can I give you an
yeah.
Ocelot
Let's
rant?
hear it. Yeah.
Timber Saw 2 makes me sick. I've never understood it and I never will. Just puts Timber Saw in a lane he really gets no advantages in, because, well, you're not gonna have any trees around unless you're diving. And you're not gonna be diving unless you beat somebody up. But you can't beat somebody up without the trees. You need those trees. So what do you do?
10
I think maybe the
seconds
reason
remaining.
people pick it is just to tank up with E and just right-click creeps and not
5
care about it, but
seconds
like, if you're gonna do that, there's so many better guys to draft. Do not like it. Indeed, getting rid of the Void Spirit and the Storm Spirit as well is going to make it a bit harder for London to pick here, because that's I feel like that's
That's true.
most of London's hero pool that we've seen knocked out here.
Yep. Thinking hard about this last spin. What are they going to pick for Luke's?
Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Axe, alright.
Interesting. They are going to run with a 2 DK. I'm never
Yep.
very pleased to see a 2 DK. I just don't think he scales well enough to be in that role per se. But they got
This is
something
the
to go
most
with
common
it.
roll right now.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't really see it, to be honest with you. It's again like Timber's thoughts. It's like,
5
though it's
seconds
to a lesser degree. You know, it's a different reason than Timber saw at least. But I feel like, for DK, for me, 3 or nothing. Like he just doesn't scale well enough to be a 2. Again, I guess the reason is they just want to send somebody mid who could just tank all the hits in the world and farm. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that idea. Like, congratulations, you won mid with Dragon Knight, who can't kill like anybody mid game, you know. Even if he gets all the farm in the world, he's just never that scary, and he certainly has no late game.
Well, that's why you have a scary offlaner like Axe.
You may now select your hero.
So now your 1 and 3 are scary rather than your 1 and 2, and your 2 can just farm in peace.
Yeah, for the end goal of
Sieging mid tower.
all right. So why can't Shadow Fiend siege mid tower?
Cause he's a big stupid demon. Like,
Yeah, that's
how's
true.
a demon gonna siege a tower?
Yeah, they're just gonna hang a sign on the front of the tower that says no demons need
Yeah.
apply, and he can't do it anymore. Well, what are they gonna do if the GG's responds with a sign on their own mid tower saying no dragons need apply?
I don't know.
Then he has
Might
to
just
stay
be a
just a
stalemate.
knight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. He can't hit his ult.
Definitely like the GG draft here more. I don't feel like the Wyvern is going to be terribly helpful for them here. They really just don't have much. Like, it's neither people they want to ult nor people they want to be around in the ult outside of Juggernaut in the latter category. So to that end, I feel like the Wyvern pick here is not really going to pay him much in terms of dividends, though that, you know, execution can change that. Execution, theory, do very different things. Outside of that, I feel like the GGs have a very solid draft here.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a draft that Nagaz might end up struggling with. I don't know if Chug realizes how much pain Night Stalker can actually give him. I don't know if picking Chug into that Night Stalker as a result is going to pan out for him. Because, you know, well, let's just put it like this. I am the Juggernaut. I cannot do anything if Night Stalker is next to me.
This is true.
I cannot even really outdamage him much because of the Void. I will need a BKB and an MKB, and I don't like building either of those things. I like how Axe is the naked Axe set, except he has like a crazy steam blowing hat.
Yeah.
But hey, at least his last match as Jug was a overwhelming success.
Ah.
The
Oh,
virus
that PO
is-
win rate is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a
That
very
would
good
be
PL,
a-
right?
I'd be a little nervous if I saw that, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Two pause one showing up with some impressive looking stats.
Prepare for battle.
I will say this much, tying the cart to the Dragon Knight horse is definitely not going to be helped with PL on the other side. You know, I've made the joke before, what's big, green, and does no damage? Viper silenced. Well, what's big, a variety of colors, and has nothing to offer to a fight? Dragon Knight with no mana. He can do one thing, not die, which is good,
That's true.
but does not really have much agency over the fight besides. Unless he goes really a long way into right-click damage, but like, you can't really do that so well as Dragon Knight, can ya? It's a sad
30
twist of fate, you
seconds
know,
to
you're
go.
not an Agi hero, so Butterfly doesn't really give you everything you need. You know, you can go AC, but that's like a 3 item. It's not going to give you that sort of late game power that you
Just
really
usually do like Silver Edge Maelstrom BKB,
right.
maybe an eggs.
Is that going to be enough when he's silenced, or rather out of mana in fights? That's kind of hard to see it to a degree. It's like the GG is calling no fight at the runes here. Stop him to block rather than even presenting the option of fighting.
Do this for eternity.
Isn't it magical, Papa?
Use all your
Well,
chat wheel lines.
Yeah, kind of making it a coherent sentence to a degree. Isn't it magical
Yeah.
that I can do this for all eternity? I mean, I guess in a way it is. You have to do something magical to be alive for all eternity.
That's true. Or you could be something magical, like a wisp.
Yeah, you could. I mean, is Wisp magic? I thought he was more like divine in nature. I mean, I guess divine in nature does kind of equal magic. But that's, some very interesting theology there. I think it's best to not think about it and better to concentrate on the
That's not
support
the thing
trait.
about wisp. Yeah.
do
I
not
agree.
consider the nature of Io.
Axe likes you. I will kill you last.
I don't know who Axe likes, but he likes somebody. And whoever it is, they're the
It's
last
not like
five.
getting Arctic Burn.
At the very least, they do have an answer for PL in the form of Axe. It is good. I think I
Yeah.
actually would have preferred a Shaker here, but they really need somebody to I feel like they really need somebody more or less to tee up fights for them. And Shaker's a little worse at that than the Axe is.
Yeah, pretty deadly.
Just vomiting all over the over in there.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Shadow Demon's starting to really show up at this tournament. From going completely
Yeah, he is.
unnoticed in the first couple of rounds, now he's kind of everywhere. Starting to see more people picking him. It's very interesting, the old tournament exclusive meta and all that.
Yep. Usually, I'd say about really 100% of the time. I was gonna say like 99% of the time, but 100% of the time you see SD picked in any competitive setting. It's for disruption saves or disruption
Right.
setups or something else like Mirana Arrow.
Do you want to hear the real red pill the government doesn't want you to know?
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of an underuse. I feel like there's more juice in that lemon than some people want to wring out. You want to know the real power of the Shadow Demon?
Well, it's not that they necessarily don't use anything else. It's
Right.
that they
I mean,
just pick
as
for,
far as like
you know,
the pick consideration, they're not squeezing the lemon dry. One big thing, doing exactly what he's doing right now. Oh, we actually missed First Blood watching this First Blood attempt. Let's get a replay of that, see what exactly went down here. Looks like it's a very simple story actually. You have Jug, you have a slow, and
yeah, Jug
it all
Grim
comes
Lane,
together.
nasty.
Anybody
Oh,
with
yeah.
a slow, and Jug is almost bound to get that First Blood, it feels
Yeah,
like.
especially like a root, like if you have a CM Jug Lane, it's just
Right.
casual death.
So, as I was saying, using that disruption to queue up, just make enemy versions of the carry come into existence is very good. I think it's something that is a little bit underconsidered when you're picking him. But especially like with a Luna, Shadow Demon is the very last person a Luna ever wants to see, At least on the enemy team.
Yeah, if it's
Can turn that power
on
around.
her
in a really
team,
good
then she likes to see it.
Yep, can also do the same there. The disruption to create illusions aspect, I feel like, does kind of get a little unnoticed sometimes, even though it is a very core part of the ability. It is what separates it from, say, an OD in the same role,
That's true.
Rather than kind
OD
of...
does get used in the same role.
Yep.
So, there's that.
So if you're ever sitting there and you're thinking, why should I pick Shadow Demon instead of OD? Well, there you go, there's one for you. Or if you're in a situation where it's like, what support do I want for a save? And, you know, you got a Luna on the enemy team or your team or somebody like, I don't know. No, I was about to say Ursa, but not him because you don't get his passive. Say somebody who's just going to naturally be doing a lot of right-click damage as the game goes on, right? Got one of those around. Back a Shadow Demon. Missed another kill on Rubik, actually. Not a great day to be a
Same
heat
thing
wave.
happened to him, I assume.
Yep. Not a great day. He actually went pretty far from him as well. Sven illusions suck to deal with a lot.
Acts like this very
Chaos
much.
Knight illusions, funnily enough. He doesn't want to see his own kind turning against him, you know?
True.
Deny.
I mean, would you really be happy if like a ghost of yourself started beating you up?
Not really. Spectre, another
There you
one.
go.
You don't get the passive, but still nice.
Actually, causing a lot of problems in this lane,
You have just,
as you know, the heroes kind of want to do.
right, just really screwing up this equilibrium here. I think maybe potentially part of the reason we've had an Axe pick rather than an Earthshaker pick is to try and specifically deal with the lane itself a little more, put a little bit more of a stake into that early game. 'Cause
Pretty
that's,
sure they just looked solely to grief this guy.
sad.
Just to deny Luke's of one last hit.
Very tragic. Grimstroke in a little trouble here. Sure guys in to come in and bail him.
Okay.
Now it's shoes on the other foot as Rubik is now the one running for his life, and life is lost. Night falls though at the worst possible time, and
Yep.
Are scanned.
goodbye to the Grimstroke as a result.
No.
On a bit of a, you know, Night Stalker just annoying Jug in this game, in this lane a little more. It's definitely
Yeah.
these this combo's working pretty well
Oh
lane
boy.
phase for the NWA though. This isn't too great. They're just gonna let Rubik go here. That's a little interesting. Yeah, they just kind of let him do his own devices there. A bit unfortunate. Especially considering
Yeah,
I
the
think a
Wyvern
kill
didn't
is
have the save
possible.
ability, up, so.
Fiel going on in on the E here also meant that he
Yep.
couldn't really intervene much.
I will not forget this.
Juggernaut going to get very slightly more efficiency out of this clarity because that Iron Branch wasn't in his inventory the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
Notably, the attempt on messing up the virus's lane phase here, you can say with certainty, was a success, even if it did cost cost Rubik his life at one point.
Double damage.
As PL, absolute last place for the course as far as last hits go, though only down by one hit compared to the Dragon Knight. Axe gets everybody but the real deal in his spin
Oh,
there, and the real
that's
PL walks away. The Virus last allowed it.
Dire's top tower is
The
under
first Omni of the game, I believe, went down here. Got the Rubik, almost got the Night Stalker, though he
I
did
think
not
Omni
have
kills
the spin.
Rubik. I think he just killed him and then Omni'd Night Stalker afterwards.
Yeah, it could be.
is under attack.
I like the tip from the Virus to the Axe.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower
That was,
is
in
under
fairness,
attack.
very tragic. Got everything but the guy he needed, and funnily enough, I think it would have been a kill. He actually
Yeah.
got him there.
Take a look here.
Yep. Chasing PL real deep through the jungle. They don't really have the resources to keep going.
They're super afraid of this axe. You can actually tell, like, in the way that they're dealing with him.
Yeah, they are very, I feel like almost worked by this Axe. They're getting, I think they're overestimating his potential a little bit here. Notably, they're still retreating even when Axe is out of, or more or less out of mana. As a result, he'll get a very casual... Uh-oh. Uh-oh, there's a jungle item on the floor here. Did they actually get it? I think PL actually ended up getting it.
Yeah, feel.
Alright, nice. That was a very hard thing to right-click on in that giant mess, so, you know, that's good. Both teams ended up with a Possess Mask here.
Yeah.
Randy,
And
who
a broom
says,
handle.
Randy, who says, please give me a Possess Mask every game it feels like, must be sitting there seething right now.
Sure, I like Titan Sliver better than Possessed Mask.
Yeah,
if I could have a Titan Sliver every game, I would be happy.
But you always ask for that Possess Mask, though.
Instead, we get to tier 3 neutral items in every game, and then the quiver drops.
And
I
then
cry.
You cry. Yep.
Yeah.
Glad we went the exact same way there. And it's like really miserable. It is an ugly cry too, as they say.
Yeah, you're right.
It's very loud. It actually kind of hinders comm lines for a while. To be honest with you.
I just abandon every game where I get a
man.
quiver drop.
Oh man, we got a DD on the Shadow Fiend here, and he is really abusing it as much as he can. Oh, he is trying to ult, got put in jail at the last possible second.
Okay.
Great move
Really
from Gotham. Did not say the Grimstroke, but did cost London
That
his
was
life.
actually sick.
Wonderful,
That
wonderful
completely-
disruption.
Just completely ruined that fight for them.
Though, unfortunately, Axe is just not in the best position to capitalize right here. Ah, that's sad.
Very good.
Omni slash on
ultimately
the,
saved them, but-
yeah. Still not too great to just have an Omni slash completely eaten like that. This is just more good news coming in for the NWA.
Yep.
Bad signs, but great news. Definitely has proved that Gotham was not just talking trash, picking the Shadow Demon. He does clearly know how to play him.
Good lord, dude. I mean, yeah, you're not. I don't think you're gonna find like a finer offensive disruption.
Yeah. And you know what else came out of that disruption is a couple of Shadow Fiend illusions who really screwed up that battle by beating people up. Please pick up the pig pole. I don't ask.
It's a pig pole, man. Who cares? If you lose a pig pole, have you really lost that much?
He's just walking away. No pig pole for them. Just not taking it out of protest.
Yeah. It's like me with quivers.
Wizard was going to go for it, but then London was like,
Then realized it was a
"No!
pig pole.
I'll take that.
We can't have the pig pole!
Yeah.
What do we look like, pigs?"
Saw a cool neutral item on the ground and moused over it, realized it was a pig pole, and was like, okay,
Uh-oh.
never mind.
London not going to let history repeat itself, immediately going for the ult this time, and though the disruption does come out, it does not accomplish quite the same amount here. Got a very good tie here out from the Grimstroke as
Yep.
Rubik and Nightstalker are immediately trying to go different directions, but unfortunately, without the rest of the guys around, nothing comes of it. Once again, the NWA really not, I don't think, in the position to be trying to play late on this, rather.
Yep.
To be honest with you,
Oh, what a call!
yeah, very good call there. Though you just failed an ult, sadly.
That's fine.
Shadow Fiend in
Killed him.
big trouble here, trying to get out. but
Okay,
this
yep.
goes right
That's
to
not gonna
jail.
happen.
In fact, all that
Goes right to
actually
the ult.
did. All that actually did was give Joke time to come and see it, get some of the XP and gold off of it. Very unfortunate. I'll say this much, nobody even outskills the Shadow Fiend, let alone the PL on this lineup. So,
Sick call. I mean, there's
very
that.
good call. Very good call. They definitely had to be opportunistic here. Every time one of the guys on the GG steps out of line for even a minute.
Even the Radiant doesn't want the fucking pig pole.
Wow. Nope, they took it in the end. Pig pole has
there
been
we go.
stolen. Grimstroke actually has in his inventory.
Oh, Thank God for that.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They'll never have their hands on it.
Probably the most
Sad.
useless item in the entire game.
Definitely wouldn't disagree on that. Big pole, one big thing about Big Pole that you cannot understate is the 10% bonus move speed you get for it. When you're in downtimes and you're just trying to move around the map efficiently, that is a godsend. Genuinely, just 10%, not perfect 10%. It's not got 100% uptime, but it will shave off, like, let's just say 6% of the time that you're taking moving one place to another, and that definitely adds up.
Snow Quiver will give you that.
Looking for the Rubik here, actually behind T1s at the moment.
Yep.
Really messing him
gonna
up.
get
Nobody really wants
bullied
to
here.
come in for him, and he gets chopped in half.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Poor Heatwave, dude. So far, the whole Rubik thing is not really working in his favor. I will say this, if nothing else, the Radiant did pick a good lineup for the Rubik specifically, because he really doesn't have, outside of Grimstroke specifically, and the disruption from Shadow Demon, doesn't have that much to steal here.
They need to start killing more than just Rubik, though.
That is
They've
true.
literally, I pretty much only killed him in this game. Like 7 of their
Yeah.
10 kills are on Rubik.
Yeah, notably, 1-0-1 here is in the jungle. Just very casually, just farming up. He's completed his diff, immediately moving on to his Yasha. His Yasha. All PL really needs to fight.
Yasha, yeah.
All PL really ever needs to fight in general is, I think, Manta and Diff. And he can go without BKB if he wants. There goes Rubik again. He can go without BKB if he can get away with it and if he wants to do it, I think. And certainly in a lineup like this, I would, I think I could stake it. I think you could go without. It's gonna be tough for, it's gonna be tough for Shadow Demon to get one on you. It's gonna be tough for Grimstroke to get one on you, and they're both going to be, you know, having to. If they do that, then they just didn't hit the Shadow Fiend, and he's pretty much exactly as Elliot wants
Okay.
to are. Big call, but unfortunately for him, nothing is going to be able to come out of it, as the Shadow Fiend absolutely waiting for that. Just ults
Yep.
right in response. Now the Radiant on a total retreat here, as Axe goes down and Shadow Demon goes down in very short order. Only lack of vision saves Dragon Knight's life, but Grimstroke will not be quite so lucky. Does try to pick pull out of there.
And denied a double damage rune, so at least there's that.
That was a loss of 3 for nothing accomplished there for the Radiant, which isn't great. If nothing else, at the very least, both Axe and Jug comfortably leading on the net worth over the PL. Jug likely had a 10k, or not a 10k, but a 1k advantage over him before that last fight erupted. And I think
If we
could
had a
get that
10k
back.
advantage over him, we would have
Very
bigger
different
problems,
game,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he did not die in that last fight, which is good.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems that the NWA had in the last encounter, they just could not get anything done without throwing PA away to do it. This game, we're definitely not going to be seeing that same issue. Haven't seen it so far, anyway. Got a Grove Bow for the die here. That's going to be a very good jungle item for the Shadow Fiend, who is immediately hungrily snatching that thing right up. It's really everything the guy wants. Though, seems to be going without for a second for some reason. Must be weighing his options. Nope, goes with it eventually. Okay, yep. Gives you everything you want as Shadow Fiend. Makes your attack longer, it makes your ult deadlier. I mean, it's everything you want in the world. On the other hand, the poor
It's
Radiant.
very good.
The poor Radiant are coming up with things like the Nether Shawl, which, man, you super don't want that this game. Oh, gonna have, you know, at least every set of games that has to happen. It feels like NWA here. NWA never seemed to have that great a luck with the jungle items. This is not really the crowd they want, though the Philosopher's Stone is always good.
They'll get a Quiver tier 3 for sure.
Yeah. Bring-ins is good, the Philos is good, but the Nether Shawl and the Essence Ring probably aren't going to do too much from this game. Radiant coming in here really just to put vision down. We're
Yep.
gonna attack later on, though. They're maybe gonna. Nah, Wizard's just gonna go right into the trees. I got no hope of finding that guy.
Radiant's
Yep.
bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are
Axe beats up the
fortified.
stupid ogres.
Affirmative.
You know, if Ogre Magi is a genius by ogre standards, right? If he's twice as smart as the average
Radiant's
ogre,
bottom tower is under attack.
what do you think that means for the rest of the ogre race?
Smarter than your average ogre.
It's true. Like, how dumb does an average ogre have to be if 2 times that equals Ogre Magi? Maybe it's a negative number.
That's a good
and ogre,
question.
maybe it's a negative number, and Ogre Magi being twice as smart as a normal ogre actually means he's even dumber than the rest of the lot.
I think it just means because he has 2 heads.
Is under attack.
Well, yeah. But what I mean is, it's like, okay, imagine if they're smart rating, right? If you could rate, you know, let's say their IQ is in the negatives. Axe, what's the call here?
I believe you're overthinking this.
No, this is important stuff. Goodbye to the winner of Urn, who just got completely demolished there. Radiant very casually sieging up this T2, giving us time to talk about anything we want. We've talked about the divinity of IO versus
Radiant's
magic
bottom
argument.
tower is under attack.
We've talked about the intelligence level of Ogre Magi.
Yeah.
Versus the average ogres that Axe beats up in the jungle.
Right.
Radiant are scanning.
Or like the alchemist ogre.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? The alchemist ogre, he's an ogre too, but he doesn't seem to be like, he doesn't seem to be any smarter, or he seems to be smarter than Ogre Magi actually.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Oh boy, SF.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend.
Way too
A
fast.
little trouble there, but they were just not able to catch up with the poor guy.
Oh.
London actually has
Oh,
to cancel
no,
the ult
this
because
is
of
such a
Laverne,
good
but it
setup.
doesn't matter. The Act 2 certainly comes into play there.
That's
Second ult gets
beautiful.
almost everybody. Both the supports just melting. Axe in the most trouble a man is legally allowed to be in. He's so fast, but it doesn't matter.
That setup was crisp.
That almost turned into disaster for them. I feel like if London had actually popped the ult there, on the Wyvern, if they had actually popped early there, then that would have been completely disastrous for them, but instead it was just great.
Oh man, you think London's gonna ult into a curse? Nah.
No.
Impossible.
Everybody makes mistakes. Listen, I've seen Arteezy do much worse, okay?
Well, that's true.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
On a shockingly frequent basis to boot. Shoutouts to Arteezy, friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show, RTZ.
Yeah, he actually watches every week. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's true.
He's actually using the LD2L to scout out new talent for his, but not for Dota 2. He's using it to find new talent for his upcoming cover rock band.
Oh, okay.
He's looking for a bassist. I told him a buddy of mine could do the job, but he said, no, dude, it's gotta be a Dota player, man. It's just gotta be a Dota player, or I'm gonna report, dude. I mean, he would have said it in stronger language, but we're on TV, we can't say that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know. We're really all over the place with the commentary of this game, aren't we? It's fine. It's only during the downtimes, right? That makes it okay. You're charging right for BKB here. Never a super ideal thing for Axe to have to do. You know, with your Axe, you always want to be able to just call everything that could make that an issue for you, and he just isn't going to be able to do that this game. You know, everybody's going to be able to stop him in one way or another, so he's just forced to do it early to boot.
Yep.
Which means, unfortunately, you know, it's always the cursed trait. It's like the same issue Viper actually has with early itemization. It's you know, do I get something that's going to help further the power I have in the early game when I'm at my peak, Or do I go into items that'll help me stay alive during my peak, but sort of, you know, make sure it's going to end a little bit earlier, for example. It's going to blunt a bit of the peak, right?
Yeah.
Dire's
Hey, he
top
chose to
tower
blunt a
is
bit of
under
his
attack.
peak. You know, it's
Radiant's
a choice you
bottom
have to
tower
make,
is
you
under
know?
attack.
It's never an ideal thing. I will say, while they did win the lane phase against the PL, the follow-up to it has not really given me the indication per se. It's not that Axe has done bad, far from it. Axe has done really well this game, though. I feel like an Earthshaker would have just a longer,
Oh,
better
boy.
shelf life, and there he goes.
Shelf life already seems to be distressingly short here.
Yeah. Axe going down in no time to that isn't that surprising, but it's just never something you want to have happen to you. Also, a very keen warning that the GGs have vision in the jungle, and they absolutely do. It is
Yeah.
lit up like a birthday cake for them.
Radiant's
Just gonna
bottom
casually
tower is
knock out
under
the spot
attack.
tower here.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
That sucks. Well, I'm gonna look at Jug up here. Jug, who, you know, to Radiant's credit, still actually has yet to die.
Yeah, he's
Though on
not
the other
dead.
hand, he's never really put himself at much risk, so it's hard to say how much exactly that means.
Yep, and his only kills are on Rubik.
Right.
Radiant's middle tower.
In fact, even to this point, over half the kills of Radiant have are on Rubik.
Yeah.
So the ratio is not as bad as like 70% like it was earlier. Randy, you are the doctor of Dota, right?
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower has been
What's your
denied.
prescription? What does the Radiant have to do to get this one here?
Kill Shadow Fiend.
Right. A little more specific.
Type
How
PL and then kill
Radiant's
him.
top tower
how to
is
kill
under
the
attack.
Shadow Fiend here?
Oh, I don't know. You want a specific prescription? I just give
Yeah.
generalities here.
No. We're looking
Radiant's
for
top
specific.
tower is
How are we
fallen.
going to deal with PL and Shadow Fiend, especially
get-
in?
Don't get 5-man called by Rubik.
That's true.
That's my prescription.
There we go. That's a good one. Don't get 5-man called. The
Because Rubik has call. He can do it, dude.
he could do it. Yeah.
He's waiting.
He's got a blink too.
call. Yeah. He's ready, man.
The only issue is if he blinks and calls, and Juggernaut's just gonna kill him instantly. But you know.
Yeah, that's true. But he's got some armor, you know.
Yeah, he's got 9 armor plus 2 from somewhere. Not exactly sure. Well, or is it?
Plus
Yeah, it's
the
alright.
armor the call gives you.
Yeah, it's true. So you'd have
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
30 now, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually, more than Axe would have. Funnily
Radiant's
enough.
top tower is under attack.
Not gonna give him a fight though. I will. Ah, sad.
Tried to call him
Alright,
there, but
double
actually
dust.
didn't succeed. Dragon Knight just getting the hell out of
Go,
dodge.
Yep.
Do not have
No, I
any.
just do not want to fight them at all.
Yep. Do not have anything to go through the BKB right now. Unfortunate for the GGs. Right. So as I was saying, specifically, like, you know, if you're in a fight, what do you do about PL to get him dead? What do you do about the Shadow Fiend to get him dead? Who has to do the
I don't
job?
really know with this complement of heroes.
Who do you think has the most initiative
you-
to be able to do
If
it?
you Omni Shadow Fiend, he's probably gonna die, but you need him to be dusted.
Yeah. Or Envision from something else. Just
Yeah.
Envision in general. Omni for the Shadow
And,
Fiend.
like-
How about PL? Axe for the PL, surely.
Yeah.
And it has to be in the situation where you can put that whole puzzle together. I think that's the
Yep.
prescription here. So after that, what then? What do you think happens after that for the Radiant to win?
Well, you just win the fight.
Right.
And win the game.
So it all comes on one fight?
Well, you use that fight when to propel yourself to win the game.
Right. I have this funny feeling if somebody ever comes to your office talking about cancer, your prescription is, well, just get chemo and don't die.
Yeah. Omni slash
Alright.
the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, so
Alone.
Doctor, I got cancer. Well, what you do is you Omni Shadow me.
Yeah.
Oh? No, he's playing as Terrorblade. You gotta get the Shadow me.
Oh,
They
that's true.
They don't want to take the Paladin Sword? Are you crazy? Okay, they do want to take the Paladin Sword. They're not
Yeah,
crazy.
he wants it.
Shadow Fiend
See,
actually
dude, it
has
was a
Vital.
specific choice not to take the pig pull.
Yeah.
Because the second he saw that, he was headed straight for it.
Well,
The
the second he
pig
saw that, he
pull,
turned
so,
away,
yeah.
and then he turned back and got it. Talk an itemization here. They're in a rough spot. They definitely need the shard ASAP on the Dragon Knight. Absolutely need it. The AC is good. It's going to help them stay alive a lot longer. I know people are not going to like what I'm about to say because it's an item people don't like to build at all. Crimson Guard would have a great effect for them here on the axe. I feel like him getting it ASAP
Catch
would be
up to Rubik.
fantastic. Yep, Rubik going down
Sad.
again.
The Eldworms carry you to rest.
Again, I failed to see how much exactly was gained by doing that, but
Yep.
alright,
If they get him one more time and don't get anybody else in the meantime, he'll be 2/3 of their kills.
that's true.
It's already roughly at that ratio. They
Certainly
were looking for
looking
the
to
Fiend.
change that.
The Stalker here, though, he, well, I thought he saw
Yeah.
that coming, but
Ooh,
maybe
the
not.
greed? Oh, he got greedy. He wanted that camp.
But he has Cloak of Flame, so they can't blink on him, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true.
And even if they could, nobody was really close enough to do that. He just gets to
Brother said.
run.
Yep. Disengage.
Never ideal. Very much proof of how reliant they are on Axe there, basically. You know, without
Yeah.
him being not only there, but like the front man, they really can't get much done at all. Which is a shame, because I feel like Axe is going to need to sacrifice himself to some degree to keep his team on the map here. And even if you don't want to go Crimson Guard, if you don't want to listen to me, they're definitely going to need to build some sort of team tank on Axe. Going to need a Shiva, is going to need... Well, he's not going to be able to get AC because, you know, Dragon Knight's getting it, but something on the Axe here to help keep them around, help stop the... Oh, speaking of Axe, Axe getting quite hassled
DKB
here.
to run from this.
Grimstroke
Hello.
up here.
Oh,
Omni comes in on it. It's quite a bit done, though. Cannot deal
Oh
with the magic or the physical immunity of the Wyvern. The Juggernaut has gone down to Shadow Fiend in the
Yeah,
back of
let
this
me
fight. Gotham gets just casually eaten by the Night Stalker. Shadow. Oh, there's two.
three dust.
Three. Yeah, nice.
You're super in vision now.
Everybody's watching you, buddy. Well, that was very painful. That was very
Yeah.
painful for a lot of reasons, actually. Though,
It sure
everybody is
was.
up so fast. It'll be a little hard to take advantage of this. No buys,
I
though?
don't think it'll be as hard as it looks.
No buys? Without the buys, it definitely will.
No, they're not interested. Or
Right.
unable to buy back.
Yep. Getting a very casual melee Rex. Likely getting the T3 here as well. Yep.
Yeah, don't see a reason why they wouldn't.
Definitely would pick up Deso here on the Shadow Fiend if I was on him here. Could help proactively deal with any sort of team-based items that they pick up, though. At this juncture, it's hard to say it matters anymore, to be honest with you. I
Yeah,
think it's kind of all said and done for Nagaz here, with the exception of something very crazy happening. Oh,
yeah, getting those sick 5-man calls.
Yeah. He's gonna need to get quite a few of those at this point. See what the Dota, yeah, the Dota plus 1% chance, gods say 95% in favor of the GGs. Though Gotham does not want to give them the satisfaction. Usually Nagas are known to be more proactive with the GG than most, though not today. Well, I would not be surprised if we find it happening very soon. PL has an Octarine! That's rare! Maybe that's what people are doing nowadays,
does.
so I guess I can't say that for
That
certain.
Octarine shard build. Love to see it.
Yep. Radiant have realized there's a Roche going on, but I don't think they have time to get here. GGs are actually not going to take the fight, actually. They're abandoning ship on this Roche attempt.
Yeah,
Predicting This, I
Oh boy.
suppose.
Yeah. That would have been very bad if people were still in the pit, so I see why they did it.
Yep. Though I feel like they could have blocked that off a little bit with some positioning. And yeah, they're just everybody's walking away from Roche now. Nobody wants to do it anymore. Except the virus, it seems. Once again, it seems like Devira is coming in with his own game plan a little bit, not really so much thinking about what everybody else is going for here, though eventually everybody does kind of comply. And Axe actually all the way back at the T3 once again, cannot do anything about it this time. Casual Aegis for the Shadow Fiend, he also gets a Shard. He's not decided who to pass it off
Already
to.
has it, yeah.
Rubik dies
Poor
again.
Rubik.
He is now over, well over actually, 2/3 of the Radiant's kills. A good call there, but does not get everybody it needed, unfortunately. Shadowfiend getting cut to ribbons here, but he's got the Aegis, so what does that really matter?
Yep.
Rubik coming back, actually. Once again, unfortunately, oh, too early! Too early on the,
like fractions too early.
But again, still has Aegis. Did not actually drop Aegis there. They did not get anybody with the Rubik. They did not get anybody at the Rubik, and that's the GG call, and that's the ball game. We're going home. All right. So,
Dire victory.
let's see analysis on this one. It's gonna be, oops, caps. Is it really that bad, Wizard? Be honest now. It's fine anyway. It's an acronym, right?
Yeah.
See analysis on this one. It's going to be hard to really say much different from the first time. The Nagaz with Attitudez here needed to build early, and they kind of went with the late strategy. In particular, you can definitely see that with the Dragon Knight, who even to the very moment the Ancient went down, he had the Brigand's Blade, so clearly he was at least thinking about his right click, though he had nothing to show for it. Went all in on defensive items, and just to be frank, I don't know what else he could have done with that kind of money, though. I just feel like Dragon Knight probably wasn't the guy for this lineup. I feel like in general, actually, this game was, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, I think this game was kind of decided in draft. Axe is a good counter to Phantom Lancer, he just wasn't good enough. I feel like even though it would have sacrificed the lane phase to a degree, I feel like Earthshaker probably would have been a better pick here. Because they just needed damage. That was the biggest problem. The only person they actually had enough damage to kill when Jug wasn't around was Rubik. And the only person they had enough damage to kill when Jug was around was Rubik, it felt like. Literally 4 kills that weren't him. 4 kills that weren't him. Notably, one of them on Winter Wyvern, who's a support, and 2 of them on Shadow Fiend, who's made of paper.
Yes.
Never got the PL. Only got the Stalker one time, and I believe that was in lane phase. So, ultimately, they just lack the damage here. I feel like an Earthshaker over the Axe pick would have been fantastic. I feel like not Dragon Knight would have been fantastic. The Shadow Demon did great for them. Once again, it has been the Gotham show in both of these games. I feel like most of the success of this team in this last tournament, in this last round, was certainly on his back. The Shadow Demon pick was very good. I think it came into play quite well for him. It did indeed help counter with the Winter Wyvern to a significant degree. It did indeed help counter the PL to a decent degree, though. Fortunately, it really wasn't enough. I just don't think this draft was what they needed. Even the Jug pick, I see why they got the Jug pick, but I don't think it really worked for them super well in the long term. It was a decent enough answer to PL, but he just wasn't able to out-farm him. The rest of the team wasn't able to do anything with that space. Really, though, it's just all about that Dragon Knight 2, I think. I just don't like DK2, you know?
It happens.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on this? Anything to add here?
Nothing more than what you said.
Yep. I also think the itemization wasn't terribly great on the NWA, but they just had such a small amount of cash. You know, this one did not go super long. They just weren't able to get the funds needed to really keep things moving, unfortunately, for them. I will say this, notably, at the end of the game, now that we're out of it, I don't see why we got the Grimstroke either. They never really bought anything to go with him. And either his Inkswell or his ult, actually, felt like the only thing he ever was able to do was silence, basically. Which is quite unfortunate. You know, it's always unfortunate for Grimstroke to be a one-trick pony. It's better the
Yeah.
silence than the Q at least, but still, it's not super duper what you want to be staking your whole life on. So, yeah. Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, there are a few things that I felt like could have been done in the gameplay element of itself, what the draft here I think was really what sort of did it in for them, you know. Last game I feel like if they had leaned into the early game, they probably had a legitimate chance here. This time I don't know. Maybe I'm a cynic. But I guess if I am, then it's my turn to be because you poo-pooed a team early finishing last week rather. I don't know if they could have actually won this one out early. I don't know if they could have actually done it in time. You know, they had a lot of ability to push out of a base between the Wyvern, between the Rubik, the Night Stalker especially, you know. He can basically just force you to start at least thinking about a fight to get rid of him, right?
Right.
I don't think the NWA really had much of a hope here, even in the best situation. Certainly a hope. It's not 0%, but I could not see a draft working out for them like this in most situations. That's all I got to say about that one.
Very
So,
sad.
if you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg to sign up. It's too late to be a regular player for this season, but it is not too late in any circumstance to be a stand-in. In fact, I believe this series was the first series that we've done in like a week and change for this that has not had a stand-in. It's actually very unusual to
Sure.
not see one here, especially for London. You know, because London very frequently has to miss, unfortunately. So, always looking for stand-ins. We got a pre-show panel every week with a game. Now again this week, where we talk about players we like, plays we liked, and we go a little bit harder and more into the entertainment aspect that we do in the cast. And this cast was very heavy on the entertainment aspect, as you could definitely
Sure.
tell. So if we're going even farther, then you know you're going to be in for a fun time. You know, your buddy Ocelot's there, and Ocelot always has a story that's gonna get some thought out of you or a chuckle out of you, right? You don't want to miss that. So Saturday nights, I think that's 7 Eastern. It's 6 for me, and so on and so forth for everybody else. And yeah, that's it. So Spiel, anything to add?
No. Nothing to add.
Why don't you shout somebody out, Randy? Give your shout out to anybody you want.
Shoutouts to a Reddit guess.
For?
Nothing. Shouting them out.
You know,
For-
I coached one of his games today, actually. Other than us,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was actually going to be him, Manoy, and 2 guys who aren't in this league, but Manoy actually had some technical issues he backed. So, yeah, I coached a game he was in, and they had a Juggernaut who went like 0-6 at the end of the game or
Oh.
something really tragic like that. I weeped for him inside.
Shoutouts to Rada for presumably losing that game.
Well, no surprise, yeah, he lost that one. Sorry, Rada. Sorry I'm airing out your dirty laundry like this, but the world has to
Ugh.
know. What we do next time? I think it's Lanaya versus Willow Twisted Fantasy. That'll be fun.
Something like that.
See you then.